This morning I went ahead and sanded down the shoulder bell. I sanded down the hand plate. I sanded down the sniper knee. I went ahead and drilled out the holes, and I used my reamer tool and I made them bigger so that I could get these clips ready to insert in. So I'm going to go ahead and do the shoulder bell first. I have the 3/4 elastic, so I'm going to go ahead and cut that up. And then I also, earlier, I went ahead and made my own brackets. I didn't like the Anovos one, so I made my own brackets. I went ahead and E6000 the control panel down, and then I went ahead and put the end caps on. So these are pan head screws. They're slotted pan head screws, and then I painted the two a flatter, like a primer gray, instead of the gray that it was. And when I'm done, let me see the ruler real quick. It should be 7 1/4. Hold on, right there. So measured, it's about 7 1/4. So that's Centurion length. So I probably cut off maybe a little bit more than a quarter off the end, because it was just a little bit too long. So right now this is done. I just need wait a whole day, and then I can take the tape off and the control panel will be done. So I lined them up to where the control panel meets the bottom. I'm going to probably have to bend this in just a little bit more. But other than that, this is done. And then it sits pretty much like that. So now I got the 3/4 elastic. And what I normally do is I'll just grab my finger right here and I'll bring it around to where it's just a little bit on the other side, and I'll cut it right there. And then I'll do the same thing, put in maybe an inch and a half in, come out a good ways, and then cut it, and then this is all I have left. So this one end, I'm going to wrap it around 3 times, so that's why I want extra length, so when I put the snap in, it's when you pull it out, it's not pulling on one piece of elastic, but it's pulling on 3 pieces of elastic. So it's a little bit stronger. Obviously elastic, it's going to wear out, but it'll take a lot longer to wear out. So I go ahead and burn the ends so that they don't fray. I'm going to use my generic CA glue, zap a gap here. Go ahead and put some glue down. I'm going to go ahead and spray some kicker. Put this piece in and just hold it, rub it for a few seconds. Doesn't take much, and it's glued down. Now I'm going to bring it around. I don't really want it tight because these are already bent in enough. I don't want to bend them in anymore. Because actually once you put, well actually this side's a little bit skinnier, but once you put them in, it actually, on the other forearm or bicep, it pushed out the shoulder bell. So I don't want to bring it in too tight. So I'm just going to bring it up here to where it's somewhat tight. And then I'm going to put my finger there. Now I know exactly how much it needs to be glued. I'll spray it. Go ahead and glue it. Put it in there. It doubled over on me. Oops. On this side, I notice it's not quite to the top, so I'm just going to add just a little bit of glue. Shot of spray. It's a little bit crooked, but you'll never notice that once it's on. Same thing with this side, it's just a little bit glue down on the edge. And now I'm just taking out some of this that I cut off. I didn't quite take it completely off. So I'm going to glue it down this very top. spray the inside here. Put about an inch, inch and a half inside. Rub on it a little bit. I'm going to flip it up so that it's right at the edge. Glue it down just a little bit more. And just jumped out of my hand. So I'm going to put it in. And there it is. So I messed up on this shoulder clip, so I went ahead and put just a smidge of ABS paste. As soon as it dries tomorrow, I'll go in there and I'll sand it down. If I have to put a little bit more, I'll put a little bit more. But this is just to strengthen it so it doesn't keep moving and moving and then snapping off. So once you're done, it'll be one whole piece. Okay, so that's the easy one. The next one, go ahead and do the leg of Shin. So I have the 3 pieces. They're already made. I've already made the hole. I've already inserted them. I'm just going to add some glue and some kicker, and I'm just going to fold them over and then hold them till they're nicely glued on. So I'll do that real quick. A little bit of glue, a little bit of kicker, hold it down. That should be done. Do the same thing with the next one. You don't have to add a ton of glue, just enough to, or it'll keep it from folding over. That one's done. Third one, when I first started doing these, I actually sewed them in. That's why I made the eyelets. But I just make the eyelets because it's easier to make it that way. But I don't use the eyelets for sewing anymore. I just use it to keep it from pulling out. So these 3 are secure. Yeah, it might come out, but it's going to take a while before this undoes. And it doesn't matter with those eyelets that I made, it's not going to go through this small hole. And hopefully you should notice it when you're putting it on, if it's good or bad. So I'm going to use a little bit of tape. What we're going to do with this one is we're going to tape these pieces down so they don't move on you. I'm going to go ahead and throw some tape here on all 3 of them. This is just to keep them so they're in the right spot. And we'll do the next one. Same exact thing. And then the 3rd one. So some of these, it might be a little tight, the hole. Once I get done with this, I can make the hole just a little bit bigger. And I'm just going to make those go on the inside. And I'm actually going to close it now, so I'm going to push it so it's nice and tight. Line it out. I'll do 3 strips with that. So now, okay, that's good. Now it's lined up exactly where I want it to close. So now, I don't know if you can see it from the inside, but they're just laying there. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put some spray it. I'm going to fold these over so they're laying like that. I'm going to glue it, spray it, and then I'm just going to put it in the spray, and I'm going to pull it just a tiny bit. Let it sit, and then go to the next one. The end ones are easy. The middle one's a little bit more of a pain in the butt. So I do the end ones first, and then I move to the middle one. So again, I'm going to move it over so it's laying flat, or somewhat flat. I'm going to spray, and then I'm just going to go ahead and glue about 3/4 of it. I'm not going to glue it all the way down, because it's got to stretch just a little bit. I'm going to fold it over and hold it up just a little bit tight. Let it sit like that, maybe spray just a little bit more, and there, it's glued in. Come to the other side, do the same thing, fold it over. Can you see me? Okay. This one's a little bit trickier because there's not as much room. I'm going to spray. I'm going to go ahead and glue it best I can. I'll fold it over, grab it and pull it just a little bit. Hopefully I got the spray in the right spot. And then here you see it needs a little bit more glue. So when I'm done, I'm going to open it up and then I'll come in here and glue it down just a little bit more. So I'm going to go to the end that's just a little bit more open because it's easier to glue the second one that way. So I'm going to come up here, spray it. I'm going to fold it over. Ooh. I'm going to glue it. Bring it over and pull it tight just a little bit. Hold it flat. And there you go. I'm going to take the tape off and it should stay exactly where it's at. How much time I got?
11:14.
Alright. So, there it is. And I'm just going to come up here, take the tape off. Take the tape off all three of them. Once I got the tape off, I can unsnap it. There you go. So, that's without it being snapped, and you come in here, snap it in, bring it down, snap it in, bring it down, snap it in. So that's snapped in. No Velcro whatsoever. This side right here, which happens to be the left side, actually fits together very nicely where I don't have to do any modification at all. No bending, no heating at all. The other side, the right side, is a pain in the butt side. So now, the last piece, oh wait, actually we'll do that last. We'll do the hand plate. So what I do for the hand plate is I just wrap some around my palm. So right here is for the palm. And I wrap around the wrist. Tell me when it's at 15 so I can turn it off. Or we'll just restart it. What's it at?
13.
Alright, I should have enough time to do this and I'll shut it off with the sniper knee. So I'm just burning the edges. So I don't want it to fray. So now one is longer than the other. So the longer one is the palm. So I'm going to go ahead and put them back together. So I know right there, nice and tight, not too snug. So I know, boom, that's where it needs to go. It needs to be glued right in this area. So I'm going to go ahead and glue it. Bring this side over. And I'm going to spray. And I'm going to come over where the glue is. Glue it down. Hold it for a second. Missed it. There it goes. Just need a little bit right there. Okay, so there's that one. I'm glue to my finger. I do the same thing with the wrist part. Bring it around so I can kind of measure with my finger where I want the glue. Throw some more glue down. Spray it. Bring it up to the bottom of the glue. Now this is the palm, so this is the bottom one. So where I'm going to glue it down, where I glue these two together, I'm gluing it down. I'm not going to glue on the other spot. I'm going to glue where I actually glued it down, and that's going to go straight down. So again, I'll put glue, and I'll spray it. And I'm just going to push it down into the little, there's like a little groove right in there. And then the next one, I'm going to do the same thing, and it's going to go higher up. And I'm going to glue it in right there. I'll spray it and glue it. Push it down. Okay, there it is. So now I'll put it on real quick. I'll show you. There it is. And it's not going to move up and it's not going to move at all.